Hello dear students, in this video I'll continue with the 7th unit financial mathematics. Here we will start with bonds. We will see the meaning of bond, important terms relating to bond, and then start with valuation of bonds using present value approach. I'll also solve the first 3 questions of exercise 7.2 of CBSE Handbook. First we will see what is a bond. Now usually there are investors who want to invest money. So for those investors, what companies will do, and companies also will be in need of money. So those companies, they will issue bonds. So bonds are basically issued by companies. So a bond, it is a contract. It is a written contract between a borrower and a lender. So the company which is issuing the bond, it is the borrower, and the investor or the person who is lending money and holding the bond is the bond holder. Now we will see what happens because of this contract. Through this contract, the borrower promises to pay a specified sum at a specific future date and to pay interest payments at a specific rate at equal intervals of time until the bond is redeemed. So the borrower will promise to pay a specified sum at a specific future date. That is, the specified sum will be paid on the maturity date. So a bond has a maturity date. So the borrower promises to pay a specified sum on the maturity date, and on top of that, the borrower has to pay interest at specific rate at equal intervals of time till the maturity date, until the bond is redeemed or it is repaid. So this is basically bond. It is a written contract between the issuer and the bond holder. Now let me take a simple example to explain the definition of bond. Say for example, there is one company, say company A, it is issuing 9% rupees 1000 bond redeemable in 5 years. So here the company A is issuing this bond. Here the price of this bond is rupees 1000. An investor who is interested to buy this bond, the investor can buy this bond and can become the bond holder. So the investor becomes the bond holder if he or she purchases this 9% rupees 1000 bond which is redeemable in 5 years. Now since this bond is redeemable in 5 years, the company has to repay this 1000 rupees which it has got from the investor at the end of 5 years. In addition to repaying this amount, the company should also pay interest payments. The interest payments are given by this rate. Now this rate is called the coupon rate. Here the 9% is called the coupon rate, and the interest payment or the coupon payments, it is given by 9% of this rupees 1000. So 9% of 1000 is the interest payment which the company has to pay every year to the bond holder. So it is 9 by 100 into 1000, which is rupees 90. Now this 9%, this is called the coupon rate, and the interest that the company has to pay, it is the coupon payment or the interest payment. Now we will see some of the terms related to bonds. The first one is the face value. The face value, or it is also known as the par value, it is the price at which the bond is sold to the buyers at the time of issue. So usually if you see, bonds will be written as 8% rupees 1000 bond. This is an example. So here the face value of the bond is rupees 1000 and the interest on the bond is 8. It means if we purchase a 1000 rupees bond at bearing 8% interest, we will get 80 rupees as interest on this bond. And then we have the redemption price. It is the amount the bond issuer pays at maturity. So the redemption price is the price which the bond issuer has to pay to the investor at the time of maturity. It is equal to the face value if the bond is redeemed at par. The next one is discount. Here, when the market price of the bond is less than the face value, then we say the bond is selling at a discount. That is, if the market price of the bond is less than this 1000 rupees, then we say the bond is selling at a discount. And then we say if a market price of the bond is greater than the face value, we say the bond is selling at a premium. So this is with respect to face value, redemption price, discount and premium. Now coming to bond valuation. The valuation of bond is nothing but it is determining the fair price of the bond. Now how this determination is done? It is done basically by discounting the bond's expected cash flows to the present using an appropriate discount rate. So here basically the present value approach is used to value this bond. So it is the present value of the stream of cash flows it is expected to generate. Now we will see bond valuation in detail. Now moving on to nominal interest rate. Nominal interest rate is the rate at which a bond yields interest, or it is also known as the coupon rate. Now I just now mentioned 8% rupees 1000 bond. So this 8% is the nominal interest rate. And now moving on to the coupon rate. Coupon rate and nominal interest rate are the same. This coupon rate, it is nothing but it is the coupon payment as a percentage of the face value of the bond. So coupon rate is given by C upon F. So the coupon payment in this case it is 80. So the coupon rate is nothing but 80 upon 1000. So this is 8% or 0.08. And next we have the current yield. The current yield is the coupon payment as a percentage of the current bond price P0. If the current price of the bond is given by P0, then the current yield it is given by C upon P0. And then next we have the yield to maturity. This is the internal rate of return of an investment, or it is similar to the required return. So while discounting the cash flows using present value approach to value a bond, we will discount the cash flows using this interest rate. So since yield to maturity is used to price a bond, the bond prices are often quoted in terms of this yield to maturity. And now we'll start with the valuation of bonds using present value approach. So here, when a bond or a debenture has a maturity date, then the value of bond will be calculated by considering the annual interest payment plus its terminal value using the present value approach, and the discounted value of these will be calculated. And by comparing the present value of the bond with its current market value, we can see whether the bond is overvalued or undervalued. So that is the use of valuation of bonds. Now we will see how to get the formula for the fair price of the bond or the purchase price of the bond. So let there be a bond where the face value is F and the number of cash flows or number of periodic payments is N, and ID is the rate of interest per period. Then the periodic dividend payment or the periodic interest R, it is given by R is equal to face value into ID. As I already mentioned in the example, 8% rupees 1000 bond, then the periodic interest payment at the end of each year will be 8% of 1000. So it is 8 by 100 into 1000, which is rupees 80. So the periodic dividend payment or the periodic interest is calculated as the face value into the rate of interest per period. So the borrower or the bond issuer or the company which is issuing bonds, it has to pay this periodic dividend at the end of each time period. So if we take these as the time period, so this periodic dividend payment should be done at the end of each time period until maturity, until the bond matures. And now let the yield rate or the interest rate per period is equal to I. So this is the yield to maturity, or it is the required rate of return of the investor if it is considered as I, and if the redemption price or the maturity value is C, then the value of the bond or the market price of the bond or the purchase price of the bond, it is given by V. Now this V we can calculate as the present value of all these cash flows over a period of n number of periods. So at the end of each period, the interest payment should be made, and then the bond should be redeemed on the date of maturity. So if the redemption price is C, then it has to be made on the maturity date. So if the interest rate per period, if it is taken as I, then the market price of the bond or the value of the bond, it is given by the present value of all these. So the present value of this interest payment which is made at the end of 1 year, it is R by 1 plus I, plus the present value of R which is made at the end of second year, it is R by 1 plus I the whole square, plus up to etc., plus the present value of the payment which is made at the end of the nth time period, it is R by 1 plus I the whole raised to n, plus here we have the redemption price. Now this cash flow occurs on the maturity date. So the present value will be C by 1 plus I the whole raised to n. Using the present value formula, cash flows upon 1 plus I the whole raised to n. So here we can see that R by 1 plus I plus R by 1 plus I the whole square plus up to etc. plus R by 1 plus I the whole raised to n, it is a geometric series where the first term is R by 1 plus I and the common ratio is 1 by 1 plus I. So using the formula, Sn is equal to A into 1 minus R raised to n upon 1 minus R, we can find the sum of all these. So the first term is R by 1 plus I into 1 minus the common ratio is 1 by 1 plus I the whole raised to n. Common ratio is 1 by 1 plus I upon 1 minus 1 by 1 plus I, plus we have this term, the present value of the redemption price or the maturity value, plus C by 1 plus I the whole raised to n. So this is equal to R by 1 plus I into 1 minus this 1 by 1 plus I the whole raised to n, we can write it as 1 plus I the whole raised to minus n upon, if we take LCM, we have 1 plus I minus 1 upon 1 plus I. This 1 plus I, this 1 plus I will cancel, 1 minus 1 will go, plus C upon 1 plus I the whole raised to n. So this is equal to R into 1 minus 1 plus I the whole raised to minus n upon I, plus C into 1 plus I the whole raised to minus n. So this is how we can find the value of the bond or the purchase price of the bond. Now moving on to the relative price approach. In this relative price approach, the bond will be priced relative to some benchmark, usually government security. The government security can be certificate of deposits or any financial instruments issued by the government. So that security will be used to price the bond. Here the yield to maturity on the bond is determined based on the bond's credit rating relative to a government security with similar maturity or duration. So usually a benchmark government security is used to determine the value of a bond. Now moving on to the exercise questions. The questions on bond valuation is given for 4 marks. So we will see how the marks are allocated after the solution. The first one, what should be the price of the bond to yield an effective interest rate of 8% if it has a face value of rupees 1000 and maturity period of 15 years. The nominal interest rate is 10%. So usually the coupon payment or the interest payment is done on this nominal interest rate. The effective interest rate is the required rate of return. So we have to be careful. So effective interest rate is given as 8%. This is I. Nominal interest rate is 10%. This is ID. Face value is rupees 1000 F and maturity period is 15 years N. So first let us write what is given. Given F is equal to rupees 1000. Then ID is equal to 10%. Then N is equal to 15 and I is equal to 8%. Here since nothing is said about the redemption price, it means the bond is redeemed at par. If the bond is redeemed at par, then the redemption price will be equal to the face value. So C is equal to 1000. So first let us find the periodic dividend payment. Periodic or interest payment. Periodic interest payment R is given by F into ID. So it is 1000 into 10% is 0.1. So this is rupees 100. And now the purchase price of the bond. V is equal to R into 1 minus 1 plus I the whole raised to minus N upon I plus C into 1 plus I the whole raised to minus N. So this is the formula. So we know each of these terms. When we substitute, we will get the answer. So this is equal to 100 into 1 minus 1 plus, here this is the effective interest rate or it is the yield. So it is 8%. 1 plus 0.08 the whole raised to minus 15 upon 0.08 plus, here if the bond is redeemed at par, then the redemption price is equal to the face value. So here we can write even F plus 1000 into 1 plus 0.08 the whole raised to minus 15. So this is equal to 100 by 0.08, it is 1250 into 1 minus, here 1.08 the whole raised to minus 15. Usually it is given in the question, the value of such exponents. So 1.08 the whole raised to 15, it is 0.315. So into 1 minus 0.315 plus 1000 into 0.315. So this is equal to 1250 into 0.685 plus 315, or it is equal to 856.25 plus 315. Now this is equal to 1171.25. Therefore, the purchase price of the bond V is equal to rupees 1171.25. Now this question for 4 marks. writing what is given, finding the number of periods, finding the rate per period or effective interest rate per period, redemption price, all these, and finding the periodic interest payment, all these carries 1.5 marks. Then writing the formula, substituting the values, all these carries 1.5 marks, and writing the final answer carries 1 mark. Moving on to the next question. Suppose a bond has a face value of rupees 1000 redeemable at the end of 12 years at 15% premium and paying annual interest rate at 8%. If the yield rate is to be 10% per annum effective, then what will be the purchase price of the bond? So here the face value of the bond is given as rupees 1000 and it is redeemable at the end of 12 years and it is paying annual interest. So this is N and it is paying an annual interest of 8%. This is the nominal rate ID and it is given the yield rate is 10% per annum effective. So this is I and it is redeemable at the end of 12 years at 15% premium. So C will be 1000 plus 15% of 1000. So the redemption price will be more than the face value. We need to find the purchase price of the bond. So first let us write what is given. F is equal to rupees 1000. Then ID is equal to 8%. I is equal to 10%. And N is equal to 12. So from this we can find the periodic interest as R is equal to F into ID (1000) into 8 by 100. So it is rupees 80. Then it is given it is redeemable at 15% premium. So the redemption price C is equal to 1000 plus 15% of 1000, or we can write it as 115% of 1000. So it is 1.15 into 1000, which is rupees 1150. So this is the redemption price. And now we can write the purchase price V. Purchase price V is equal to R into 1 minus 1 plus I the whole raised to minus N upon I plus C into 1 plus I the whole raised to minus N. So we have all these values here. When we substitute each of these values, we will be able to find V. So V is equal to R is 80 into 1 minus 1 plus. Here we have I it is the effective rate. So it is given as 10%, which is 0.1. So 1 plus 0.1 the whole raised to N is 12. Minus 12 upon 0.1 plus C is 1150 into 1 plus 0.1 the whole raised to minus 12. Now usually in the question the value of 1.1 the whole raised to minus 12, it will be given. So the value is 0.3186. So this is equal to 80 into 1 minus 1.1 the whole raised to minus 12 upon 0.1 plus 1150 into 1.1 the whole raised to minus 12. Now 80 upon 0.1 is 800 into 1 minus 0.3186 plus 1150 into 0.3186. So this is equal to 800 into here 1 minus 0.3186 it is 0.6814 plus 1150 into 0.3186, it is 366.39. Now this, when we simplify, we get it as 545.12 plus 366.39. This is equal to 911.51. Therefore, V is equal to rupees 911.51. Next question. An investor is considering purchasing a 5-year bond of rupees 1 lakh at par value and an initial fixed coupon rate and an annual fixed coupon rate of 12%, while coupon payments are made semi-annually. The minimum yield that the investor would accept is 6.75%. Find the fair value of the bond. So here the investor is considering purchasing a 5-year bond at rupees 1 lakh par value and the fixed coupon rate is 12%, where the coupon payments are made semi-annually, and the minimum yield that the investor accepts is 6.75%. We need to find the fair value of the bond. So first let us write what is given. The face value is rupees 1 lakh, and then the nominal interest rate ID. Here the coupon payments are made semi-annually, so the rate per period will be 12% upon 2, it is 0.06. So therefore, periodic interest payment R will be F into ID. So it is 1000 into 0.06, which is 1 lakh into 0.06, which is rupees 6000. And then next we have the minimum yield which the investor requires is 6.5%. It is 6.5% for 1 year. So for every 6 months it will be 6.75% divided by 2, or it is 0.03375. And here, since no other information is given about redemption, it means the bond is redeemed at par. Now we can find the the fair price of the bond, or the fair value of the bond, as R into 1 minus 1 plus I the whole raised to minus n upon I plus F into 1 plus I the whole raised to minus n. So when we substitute each of these values, we will be able to find the value of V. So we have V is equal to R is 6000 into 1 minus 1 plus 0.03375 the whole raised to minus 10 upon 0.03375 plus face value is 1 lakh into 1 plus 0.03375 the whole raised to minus 10. Now the value of 1.03375 the whole raised to minus 10, usually it will be given in the question. It is 0.7175. So this is equal to 6000 into, here 1 minus 1.03375 the whole raised to minus 1. So it is 1 minus 0.7175 upon 0.03375 plus 1 lakh into, here again we have 1.03375 the whole raised to minus 10. So it is 0.7175. So this is equal to 6000 into 0.2825 upon 0.03375 plus 71,750. So this is equal to 6000 into 8.37 plus 71,750. It is 50,220 plus 71,750. Therefore, the fair value of the bond. This when we add, we get 1,21,970. Fair value of bond is equal to rupees 1,21,970. So this is the fair value of the bond. I hope this video was useful for you. Thank you for watching.